This spring storm isn't done with us just yet. It's dropped lots of snow in the mountains. The foothills have gotten some action as well. You can see it in this video from a viewer from Evergreen. In the lower elevations, it's just been rain all day, and the moisture is much needed. Dog's got a coat. Not a wet dog, not a stinky wet dog. You can look forward to drier weather tomorrow. Good evening. I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark, noticing the dog's coat didn't cover its back end, which can be the wettest and stinkiest part. Winter in the mountains had one big last fling today, so let's bring in Kathy Sabin for a look at the impact and when all this clears out.
It's so cool. We have almost an inch of rain in the gauge here at the 9 News studios, and it's still raining outside. We need this water. We do, because we're about to embark upon a relatively dry stretch of weather. And to have a foot of snow in the mountains in May, well, that's just cool and fun, unless you have to drive in it. But if your favorite ski resort is still open, you're going to be able to be skiing. Some great conditions tomorrow. Temperatures are chilly. We're in the 40s with a weather impact alert for a storm that just won't leave. Winds are light, but that wind direction is driving that moisture up against the Front Range foothills. Look at this big thing spinning over southeastern Colorado. If you haven't had much rain yet, it's going to rain all night long and into the morning hours for a part of your morning drive. We've had a little thunder, a little lightning, and the snow level coming down into the western and southern suburbs. Castle Rock, Parker, Highlands Ranch. Might even see a brief rain-snow mix here in Denver if it gets cold enough tonight. And so all of this water coming in, well, it's of the frozen variety in the high country. We've got winter storm warnings out for heavy snow overnight above about 8,000 feet, and this will continue through 6 o'clock. We have additional snow in the foothills expected tonight, another 3 to 6 inches, but it's the rain. Unbelievably, even more rain coming in tonight. The temperature profile has been really chilly around the area in the 40s. They'll stay there, but the rain's going to go all night long. You're going to need the umbrella and a little extra time tomorrow morning. Details on the timing of when this storm moves out and how the rest of the week looks, we'll have all that for you just ahead.
Police in Westminster are investigating after they say someone threw something off an overpass at cars driving underneath. This happened to 2 drivers early Saturday morning.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez spoke with one of the drivers and saw that damage to her car.
It's kind of hard to see with like the glare or whatever, but it kind of goes out from there.
An unexpected ending to what started out as a peaceful drive home for Roxanne Bingham.
And it just literally just like fell out of the sky.
Westminster police say they don't know what it was that caused this damage.
It looked like a really big snowball, which I found so odd, but that was like the first thing that came to my head. My next thought was it was probably just a rock.
It happened here at the Zephyr Street overpass on Church Ranch Boulevard. Roxanne tells me that she was traveling east, coming home from a friend's house when she went under the bridge and saw something fall onto her car. That's when Westminster police say around the same time they got another call from a different driver saying a similar incident had happened to them. Roxanne tells me that despite the damage, she does have something to be grateful for.
It could have been a lot worse for me, so even though it was terrible, I was like, okay, someone is watching out for me. It could have gone through. I could have blocked my vision and I could have crashed or something.
Roxanne says it will take a week before her windshield is fixed. Westminster police say this type of crime is not only reckless, but dangerous and potentially deadly.
I do feel like they saw a car coming and was like, okay, let's do it now, for whatever reason.
Roxanne says whatever that reason is, she hopes it's the last time it happens.
I'd rather that than us find them. Like, if they disappear forever and we never know, I'd rather that than it happened to someone else. So
in Westminster, Colton Chavez, 9 News.
New tonight, Chevron is laying off dozens of workers here in Denver. Company just notified the state that 125 employees will lose their jobs come July 1st. Chevron warned a couple months ago that it would cut 15 to 20% of its workforce by the end of next year. According to our partners at the Denver Gazette, a number of those Denver positions will be moved to Houston. Tonight, the nation's top lab for renewable energy research is operating down dozens of people. NREL and Golden laid off 114 staffers this week.
9 News reporter Spencer Soysher joins us. And Spencer, you spoke with a man who lost his job, and he said he wasn't surprised.
Yeah, he had a feeling it was coming, especially because future funding was in doubt for projects he was working on. Still, it happened fast, and it likely isn't the last cut, as the Trump administration aims to slash the size of the federal government.
It was first thing in the morning. It was like 9.
Ben Leonard's work week ended at the same time it started.
I logged into my computer that morning and just saw a invite on my calendar and Kind of quickly had like an iffy gut feeling.
Along with 113 others, Ben lost his job Monday at the National Renewable Energy Lab in Golden.
I was proud to be there and definitely a dream job.
Ben started at NREL in January, exactly 2 weeks before President Trump took office.
I knew that the folks coming in were kind of hostile to some of the work that was happening there, but we weren't totally sure how it was going to shake out, essentially, or how deep or how fast the changes would happen.
Last month, President Trump's pick to lead the Department of Energy came to tour NREL. Chris Wright, a former Denver oil and gas executive, told staffers he loved national labs like theirs. But when asked about the layoffs, he gave no guarantees.
That is an ongoing process. We are midstream on that. But frankly, it would be downright irresponsible if we weren't doing this.
No longer midstream. 114 people were laid off, 3% of the workforce at NREL. And Ben says his former coworkers are wondering if there's more coming.
I think a lot of people, including myself, were sort of tentatively giving ourselves the end of summer, like towards the end of the federal fiscal year, for kind of how long we were thinking things would last. But yeah, there's definitely some uncertainty.
NREL told us in a statement that the cuts were a result of new federal directives and budget shifts. NREL is government-owned, contractor-operated, so Ben is technically not a federal employee and wouldn't have been eligible for those deferred resignation offers. Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
An order barring the government from deporting migrants in Colorado without notice based on a centuries-old law remains in place. Today, a federal judge in Denver decided to place an indefinite hold on it. The Trump administration has been using the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to speed up deportations of people accused of being members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. The ACLU sued on behalf of 2 men from Venezuela, arguing the law wasn't meant to target gangs. It was meant to target military threats. U.S. District Court Judge Charlotte Sweeney issued a temporary restraining order 2 weeks ago that prevents those deportations without 21 days' notice. Today's ruling prevents migrants from being moved out of the state without notice under that law while the case plays out.
The Trump administration is trying to convince people in this country without authorization to leave on their own. But self-deportation is not a simple process. The nonprofit Casa de Paz says people have tried turning themselves into ICE here in Colorado for self-deportation, and many have been turned away. Booking a flight can also be complicated because you need a passport. It's something that we know many Venezuelans in this country do not have and cannot get because of the dysfunction of their government. Consulate and embassy services are suspended because of strained relations between Venezuela and the U.S. Now the Trump administration is promising migrants $1,000 if they self-deport and declare that on the CBP One app. Advocates are skeptical.
No, I would not trust a single thing that this administration says because they currently have people sitting in El Salvador for nothing. So what this current administration continues to offer for people to leave is just a fake promise in our eyes.
The Trump administration says that $1,000 offer for self-deportation is cheaper than it would otherwise cost the government to deport someone. The Trump administration estimates it costs more than $17,000 to arrest, detain, and then remove one person from the U.S.
Fears of being deported are pushing people on visas, green cards, and permanent residence to start the process to become U.S. citizens.
As 9 News reporter Rachel Krause shows us, Denver Public Schools is helping to get people ready for one of the biggest tests they'll ever take.
Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? Why are you telling me? You should be writing it down.
Lessons learned in this classroom.
Yes.
Go beyond a good grade.
How many justices are the Supreme Court?
Students like Esfrida Maddox are studying for the test that will determine if she can become a U.S. citizen.
I have one daughter. She's autistic. And I want to vote. I want to vote for my daughter.
Citizenship didn't seem pressing until mass deportations began.
I fear always, and no matter what, I have my resident. Always when I leave, I say, Jesus, don't forget me. I have my kids. Sometimes I'm not sleeping because I worry about my future.
See?
She's not alone.
Dejen la pizarra arriba.
Carla Duarte, who manages DPS's Northeast Community Hub, says demand has been rising for citizenship classes since Trump took office.
Yes, absolutely. We have a waiting list of people that wanted to come to the class. Unfortunately, we don't have capacity for so many.
Beyond quizzing them on the questions they'll face on their citizenship test, these students do mock interviews, helping them practice their English and their answers so they're ready for the test.
Se siente bien porque uno puede tener la confianza de acercarse con las personas que te ayudan a querer sobresalir.
For Mariana Solis, these classes made all the difference. She passed, and as of March is now a U.S. citizen, putting her life on a new track.
El querer tener un mejor trabajo y poder votar.
Next question.
Ms. Frida hopes her interview will be called soon. She's studying up, so she's ready when she gets her chance to pass this test.
And the moment when I be citizen and say I be loyal to United States.
DPS started offering citizenship classes in January of last year. And to be clear, the district does not help families with the legal part of the process, just the studying and the skills necessary for the interview and the test. So far, 13 of their students have gone on to successfully become U.S. citizens, and many more have submitted their paperwork.
I love watching those ceremonies when it happens.
Right. It's such a great moment.
Meaningful, and you can tell the work they've put in.
Absolutely. You know, these people spend years trying to be able to gain the knowledge, the information necessary to be able to do this. They're so proud.
Yep, folks who are on the doorstep of a dream and take that step. All right, Rachel, thank you.